Players are up on the dugout. They're up on the stairs. Now here comes down to this once again. Let's try this again. And now the 1-2 pitch on the way, and a swing and a miss, strike three. And the Mariners, for the first time since 2001, they have won the AL West division. Congratulations to the Mariners. They have done it. They have won 9-2 on the Colorado Rockies. And must I say, the last time the Mariners won the division was when I was 9 years old. And what a moment it was. It has been a long time coming. This was way overdue. And now it is all about trying to get the number 2 seed. And fireworks are going off in all scales around the stadium. And you got to give it to everyone. Cal Raleigh with his 2 home runs. Julio Rodriguez with a home run. And must I say, this is a very surreal moment. I'm just at this point speechless. I'm very happy. And Nan, it has finally been complete. But now the magic number for the number 2 seed is 1. Yeah, when the Mariners won that division, I was 9 years old. I was just getting into a school called Cascade Ridge. They had just opened. Halo didn't even exist yet. The GameCube was in development. Xbox was just about to be complete. We were just going through 9/11. The iPod had barely just been on its infancy. And someone said 8,760 days was the last time the Mariners won the division. And it was on September 18th or 19th of 2001 when the Mariners won the American League West Division. And now the wait is finally over. I mean, we went through all these frustrating years from the years of 2002 and 2003 when we heard the insulting comments by Howard Lincoln going, our goal is to not win a World Series. It is to field a competitive team year after year to put itself in position to win a World Series. Then we went through the Bill Bavasi era from 2004 to 2008. They had at one point lost 100 games on a $100 million payroll. And then we get to the Jack Zarenzik years where he tried to rebuild and then he was like, no, never mind. Let's get $40 million and let's keep an old Ken Griffey Jr. way out of shape. And that didn't work out, obviously. Then another more rebuild years of Jack Zarenzik, and he finally just gave money to Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz, and that also did not work out. Jerry Dipoto comes in, tries to win what he could with Cano and the Cruz and Felix, by the way. All of that was wasted. Then rebuilding years, starting in 2019 until 2022, they make the playoffs. So close to win game 1 in that division series against the Houston Astros. And then 23 and 24 was also disappointing. Didn't do much for the 23 season. High expectations. They were supposed to win that division. Did not happen. Then after 23, after missing the playoffs, Cal Raleigh was calling out the team for not spending the money. And then before 24 season, Suarez, Kelnick was all traded away. And then 24, we saw some of the worst offensive performances in Mariners history. Like, maybe that's just over-exaggerating to say, but they struck out more than anyone in the entire league, it looked like. I think they were like top 3, may have been number 1. And then 25 started with very little hope where they didn't really do much in the offseason. Their only offseason moves were pretty much Donovan Solano and getting Jorge Polanco back on a re-signing. And then the season was pretty much up and down until the Mariners got Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez. Good thing that Cal Raleigh and Jorge Polanco were carrying the load in the first half a little bit. Julio Rodriguez was showing his volatility, and it seemed that it just got better when he skipped the All-Star game and Eugenio Suarez came in, being that big brother for him. I mean, he brought all of this to the team.
All right, guys, goodbyes only. Don't forget it.
Stop it.
Thank you.
Just curious, are the Mariners are they going the booze again? Like, are they like, oh, and don't even have time to even check on that because we got Jay Trident podcast. And Jay Trident, how about that? For the first
Division
time
champs.
For the first time since 2001. And let's do a game where the last time the Mariners won a division, what had happened during that time? Like, I'll start. The last time the Mariners won the division, the game Halo was still in development for the Xbox.
Tom Brady had never started an NFL game.
You got that from Twitter X, didn't you?
I did, but still, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Like, it was just right before when I don't know. I don't really remember at this point anymore, but woo! I mean,
absolutely incredible.
I think some of us were concerned, like, man, are they going to be too hungover after just popping off the champagne like that? And then in the first inning, immediately the Mariners answered by going, nope. Cal Raleigh hits a home run to make it 59. Rodriguez ties his career high. Jorge Polanco hits a home run, and the Mariners just keep on going and going. They just kept scoring runs. Forget about T-Mobile Park and offensive problems. How about Luis Castillo? 10 strikeouts, nearly pitched the perfect game, was just given up by a little bit of an oopsie home run to the Rockies. But nonetheless, he still got 10 strikeouts, 91 pitches effort. And how about Dan Wilson? Because we knew that he was going to pull Luis Castillo. How about the fact that he gave him just one more out just so he can get the standing ovation? Like, at first I was like, oh, come on, Dan Wilson, let him do it. And then I even stood up and gave him a standing ovation myself to give him my congratulations because we've came a long way with Castillo. Like, we have seen him just been very up and down just a little bit after the 2023 season. And here he really stepped up and he really shut down the Rockies. I mean, it was just nothing short of impressive. And everyone on this team deserves credit. And in case if I tear up, you have been warned.
No, do it. It's deserved. I mean, I'm really like, there's not a lot to say in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like, we can't break down the game. The game was surreal. My family's celebrating in the background. Sorry if you can hear them, but it's but everyone's excited. I mean, there's just it's just like the game didn't even matter. It was their night. It was their night. It wasn't going to be stopped. Like, I didn't even know what I would. Cal hits numbers. I mean, Cal Raleigh just hits his 60th home run of the year, and I don't even care. I mean, you know what I mean when I'm saying that. Like, I do obviously, but like, they win the division. Castillo could have had a perfect game. I think there was a missed strike 3 call actually on that too. But they're AL West champs. First time, like I said, 2001. Another thing I say is, like, I was a freshman in high school last time they did it, and now I have kids that are going to be going into high school next year. I mean, that's how long it's been for us. And just to fans out there that are watching, like, don't take it for granted. Because, I mean, me and you know, right? Like, we've been with this team for a while. That's not to say that new fans shouldn't enjoy. They should, but like, it's not easy. And I think Mariners fans appreciate this more than maybe some other fan bases would.
Oh, yes, because it's very rare for us to happen. And sometimes it feels like, I'm not saying it's a once in a lifetime experience, but for now, it's a once in an every 20-year experience. And wanted to go deeper in that Cal Raleigh home run. Believe this. You're not going to believe this. Cal Raleigh is now the only non-Yankee in American League history to hit 60 home runs or more. Think about that.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, 63. Roger Maris, Aaron Judge, 62. Roger Maris, 61. Babe Ruth, 60. And you can't name any other player that's not a Yankee to hit 60 home runs. And how about a Mariner, out of all teams, gets to be part of that elite 60 home run club? And some would argue that every one of those players in the American League did it the right way. So now you can say that Cal Raleigh and those 3 other guys are the true baseball home run kings. Now, the whole National League thing, that is just up to the debate, but a lot of people are saying that we can say that Cal Raleigh is a legitimate home run hero. And how about him being able to do that while managing the game with the pitchers, especially with a very erratic bullpen that he had, and a starting rotation was very up and down, and he was able to handle all of that and still hit those bombs.
Yeah, doing it as a catcher and just to be in those names. Like, I mean, Babe Ruth. I mean, Cal Raleigh is now in there and a chance to pass Babe Ruth. I mean, he could break Judge's record potentially. But I mean, just to say that name with Cal Raleigh, I mean, is just abs. And on top of it, division champs. Like, this wasn't done. I don't want to say it would ever be meaningless, to have a season like that. But like when Bonds hit 73, I don't believe the Giants went to the playoffs that year. When McGuire hit 70, the Giants did not, or the Cardinals did not go to the playoffs. The Cubs did with Sosa 66. I think the Yankees did with Judge. But to do this in a season when they could do it all, it makes it, to me, even just all the more incredible.
And the other thing that the Mariners almost did, which would have been insane, was back in 1995, the Mariners clinched their division with a 9-1 victory, and they were so close to having another 9-1 victory for the division clincher. How fitting would that have been on like basically close to the 30-year anniversary of 1995? Like, they're just so close.
Oh, they were. Nice job, Luke Jackson.
Oh, it's okay, Luke Jackson. Good thing the run support was there, but we won't lose sleep over it, I swear.
You know what? Luke Jackson did us a favor. We got to enjoy it for a couple extra minutes, right? It wasn't just a quick 1, 2, 3. We got to soak in. So that's all he was doing even stuff like this conversation we're having, we're like, who cares that Luke Jackson gave up a run in the 9th? It's just little things like this that, I mean, there's nothing what one win or one Cleveland loss away from the bye, sit back, enjoy the wild card series. And, hopefully the party's just getting, that's the other thing too. Like, they've done this and the party's just getting started, right? Like, I mean, now you're in the ALDS. You're more than likely going to be hosting I can't get my thoughts together, but you know what I'm saying? Like, let's win this whole thing. I don't know.
At least we're guaranteed to at least host the wild card.
Yes.
And that's like, and to say that's the worst case scenario, who would have thought that would happen?
Right. That's the thing. Like, that's the worst case scenario. That's if the Mariners lose their final 4 games and Cleveland wins 4 in a row. It's the only way that would happen.
And knowing with something with the magic number of 1, it would be very difficult to imagine. And I don't even want to think about it.
I'll say this. I do think Cleveland wins their final 4. I'm assuming Cleveland wins their final 4. So just go in tomorrow and then finish it.
Just take care of business. And do you know if the Mariners are popping champagne? Because my stream kind of died.
I do not. I'm assuming they're doing something. I can't. I'm not seeing the game right now, so I don't know.
I wouldn't be popping champagne because they just did last night to make the playoffs. I think they should be like, they're going to do it again, aren't they? Probably. And
they were saying tonight's going to be even crazier. So we'll see. We'll see.
Can't they just wait till the 2nd seed at least and then do whatever the heck you want?
I will say this. I don't think they'll do anything for that. I don't think they'll you might get some bigger high fives, but I don't think you'll anything, for that with the 2 seed. I don't think they'll have a big celebration for that. I think this will be it until they hopefully move on to the next rounds.
Yeah, let's not get any. Let's just make sure that everyone gets home safely. And the other thing I want to touch on was this: like, since 2023, like the last time Mariners made the playoffs, most of us were like at ground zero. Like, most of the Mariners content creating community, we didn't even really have a community. Like, I was at ground zero with Cal after when Cal Raleigh hit that home run, and I was like, do I really want to do this YouTube channel? I don't know. And you had just started, and then we went through the last 2 years worth of pain. 2023, they struggled. Sure, they had a nice month of August, and then September, we were there. We saw it all together in pain. Then the 2023 offseason happened, or 24 offseason happened. Watching Suarez go, watching Kelenic go when he was at least legitimate at the time.
At least a major league player.
At least a major league player. And then there was doubts. And then the worst part of that season was the most exciting part of the offseason was bringing back Mitch Haniger. That was the worst part of that was like the most exciting part, which is actually the worst part of being excited for. And then we saw 24 where Mariners offense just struck out like no other. Like, I felt like I was like dragging myself to Mariners games doing all these live streams. Now they almost made the playoffs. Dan Wilson kind of made a little bit of a somewhat inspiring run, and it wasn't enough. Then we go to the 25 offseason. We were wondering what if could the Mariners get any of those free agents that were highly coveted. Like, were they going to get Pete Alonso? Were they going to get Josh Naylor? Were they going to get Christian Walker? None of those happened. Their best moves was getting back Jorge Polanco. And I remember you described it as, well, at least you're getting a cheeseburger from McDonald's, and it's free. And he did much more than that.
He did. He was a legitimate burger.
He turned into a 1990s Big Mac, I'll tell you that. And then remember in spring training, we saw Jorge Polanco playing third base. That was our starting third baseman. And both of us were like, yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. I hope Ben Williamson is ready. And even throughout the 25 season, there were still struggles. Like, Jorge Polanco started to cool off a little bit. Dylan Moore just completely went to zero at that point. And then Julio Rodriguez was still showing his extreme volatility, which is why I made a video criticizing him. By the way, I wasn't saying I was hating him. I was just saying he's volatile, just needs to be more consistent. Then he takes the All-Star game off and gives it to Randy Arozarena. Team player, team effort for that. Because he said that he wanted to just clear his mind and just get ready for second half. And what does he do? He puts out an amazing second half performance. We get Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez. I think Josh Naylor did all of the dirty work, and Suarez did like all of the good vibes work. And that carried this team all the way. And even in September, there was still doubts. Like, there was a point where we thought the Mariners might actually collapse, especially after that Rays series. And then they stepped up against the Braves, and everyone's saying, it's the witch. I think it was Mike Cameron when he showed up for the team as a bench coach temporarily, and they just embarrassed the Braves in those two games. And then the homestand happened, sweeping the Cardinals, sweeping the Angels, taking 2 out of 3 from Kansas City. And most of us were like, are they going to survive this road trip? How about Houston? They swept Houston. Like, they just embarrassed them, except the second game, of course. And then Victor Robles. Like, there was so many points where we thought, man, this could actually end the Mariners season. And Victor Robles makes that diving catch. And then after that, the Mariners are pretty much flat out just unstoppable. And how about when they just embarrassed Houston on that Sunday? I think that was the statement game of the year, where not only did the Mariners just beat the Astros, they just humiliated them. And because of that, Astros haven't won a game since. And now here we are, securing the playoffs, getting the division, and now we're just one game away from a bye week to avoid the wild card.
Yeah,
I could just go.
No, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, they've 16-1 in their last 17 games. I mean, and they've needed all of it. Now, I mean, now they're kind of pulling away a little bit, but like, I mean, if they were 16-1, let's say they were 11-6, that's a good record. Like, if we start next season 11-6, you're off to a good start. That would have probably been on the outside looking in, or they'd certainly be in like a dogfight with the Astros right now for the division. You know what I mean? They'd be fighting for their lives. I mean, they have needed, which is good though, right? Because they went out and they took it. You know, I mean, there was a lot of times during the season where like I still thought they'd get in, but it was kind of like, well, they'll get in, you know, if they just go like 11-10, they should be fine. They didn't do that. They were 16-1. So not only did they do it, they did it in convincing fashion. And I mean, the sky is the limit. You know, will they do it? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but they can. This team can absolutely win a World Series. You know, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. There's a lot of great teams in the playoffs, but they can. They're as good as anybody.
They have really shown that in the past month, especially in T-Mobile Park. And now T-Mobile Park, it went from being an offensive suppressing stadium for the Mariners, and it's now the offensive suppressing stadium for the other team, because the Mariners are winning their games at home. And I was saying it throughout the whole offseason. I was like, T-Mobile Park's not the problem. T-Mobile Park's not the problem. They're still winning their games at home. And not only have they been winning their games at home, they've been embarrassing teams at home in just impressive fashion. How about Josh Naylor, a 350 hitter in T-Mobile Park? Sign the guy up. Give him that extension. He deserves it.
Yep. No, absolutely. And I think Naylor is just the perfect example of the kind of hitter the Mariners have needed to balance out that lineup too. Just a perfect complement to what this team does offensively. And I mean, it's just like you said. I mean, and look at the ballpark tonight, how electric it was. I mean, listen, I'm a firm member of the 12s and the Seahawks, and we know how loud that can be. Yeah, if the Mariners in the playoffs, that place is going to be absolutely insane during the playoffs. I mean, it was insane tonight, as it should be. But I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Congratulations to all the fans that got to be there. And the only reason I didn't go to the game was I wanted to have it on YouTube record that I did the game, and here I am. And I think I'm just running out of words to say, to be honest with you. But now we got to get into the boring part. Is the magic number is now 1. And the way that happens, it looks like that if the Mariners win their game, obviously, but then I think it takes a Detroit or a Detroit victory.
Oh, nope, just a win. It's just 1. So if the Mariners win tomorrow, they have the bye. Or if Detroit wins. You are right about Detroit winning, but let's say Detroit wins, doesn't matter. Mariners have now they are still in line. They could still get the 1 seed. They're actually only a game back now of New York and Toronto. We talked about that, I think, a little bit, where the 1 seed might not be great. But if New York wins the East, I think the 1 seed becomes a little bit more intriguing. Because if you do get into an ALCS, we don't want to get that far ahead, but if you get into an ALCS with the Yankees, you'd like to have home field advantage. The Blue Jays, I wasn't too worried about it. But with the Yankees, I think you really want that series at home. So the 1 seed is still out there for them as well. But yeah, if they win tomorrow or if Detroit wins tomorrow, they have a bye. It's locked up.
Yeah, and that's the question and now we can actually talk about and debate, because I feel like that for the Mariners to not get the 2nd seed, it seems like they have to be like, whatever, they would have had to party so hard tonight to get completely all blacked out for tomorrow, and then they lose 4 in a row, and everyone else wins 4 in a row. But it does feel like that it is safe to talk about who we want in the division, which is a great problem to have. So if they get 3rd or 2nd seed, then they'll be playing the likes of the winner of Cleveland and or Tigers or Houston.
Yeah.
And in a twisted thinking, I think I would like to take Houston in the division series, but that doesn't seem possible because the Astros just lost another game to the A's. So it looks like their season is pretty much, it's in question.
But I think you're right, though, in terms of those 3 teams, because Cleveland's red hot. I don't think Cleveland's that great. I think we beat that. I think we beat all 3. To be very clear, I think the Mariners would beat all 3. Not guaranteed, but I think we should be favored too. Cleveland's on fire, though. Detroit is just tough with Skubal, how he'd match up, but he may not be able to be in there because he might have to pitch more at the end of the season. And then who knows how often they can use him in the wild card round. Houston scares me for one reason. Just they've been there before, done it before. They have that about them, right? They know how to win in the playoffs. And man, what a statement it would be for them. If we won the division and they came in and beat us in the DS, right? That would be their ultimate. No. And I think we beat them. So I'm not but that would kind of be the scary aspect of it. But here's the thing. Every team that's in the playoffs is good. There's no who I'd love to play? Can we get the Rockies to come over and just give them a free playoff spot? But
that's not how it works. Whatever, no matter the team is, still got to play your game.
It's gonna be tough.
Still got to play at your 100%. Doesn't matter which the team is, because if a team is depending on who they want to match up with, then something is wrong. And look at the Seahawks back in 2013. I remember how much I wanted Carolina in the NFC Championship, but it didn't matter because although the Seahawks did win that game against the 49ers at the skin of their teeth, the point was they were able to overcome any kind of adversity. And it looks like the Mariners, as of now, are a team that have been able to come through adversity. I mean, look at what they went through in the last 2 years worth of frustrations. And there was even question of like, Mariners are running out of time kind of thing. What are they going to do with the players that are still barely under contract, especially like with Logan Gilbert and George Kirby due for extensions because they are in their arbitration? But until then, we don't even have to worry about that. The only thing we have to worry about is Mariners just win one stinking game for the number 2 seed to get the bye week.
Exactly. It's even like talk about extending. Now, I'm certainly with you with like extend Naylor, but right now it's like just soak this in. And I think the 49ers point, and I've got to get rolling here and get back to a couple things, but congrats to you, Rooftop. Thank you for being there. I got a funny story. So my wife had to pick up the kids from their church thing tonight. She was listening to Rooftop Sports on the way home. You brought her Cal's 60th home run.
I am absolutely honored. That's what I was here for. I'm providing a service for people because not everyone wants to pay for radio. Who wants to sit in their car to listen to a game on the radio? Instead, why not Rooftop Sports providing live play-by-play coverage?
So, it's just, that's part of it, right? It's like a family, and to have all the fan base hopefully united in this. That's what's great about this, right? Like there can always be little disagreements. Like, me and a commenter can disagree on, I don't know, like Luis Urias or something, who knows? But like, this is something we can all unite on. And that's what makes this so great. But I do got to get rolling, man. But thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. We'll get some stuff going. I know we'll be on Saturday for what might be a game. They'll just be fun. It's pretty stress-free baseball on Saturday. Potentially some pretty stress-free baseball.
Still gotta finish off. Like that's why I would just want to sweep the Rockies so they can just relax for the last 3 games against the Dodgers. And yes, Jay Trident, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me for the last 2 years before I even got monetized, before any of us did.
Yep. We were talking about some random Blue Jays April series, and here we are.
Since 2022, I have been building the Rooftop Sports YouTube channel, and I want to thank all of you for your support and engagement. Without all of you, there is no Rooftop Sports. Now, if you would like to take your support to the next level, join my exclusive YouTube membership program for just $5 a month. Get first access to new videos, ad-free content, and exclusive insights from my fantasy sports as I do play many fantasy sports leagues. Plus, follow along with my softball seasons like never before. You also get access to my own emojis to use to comment on my videos and my live streaming shows. For just $5 per month, become a bigger part of my community and get ready for unparalleled sports experience. Let's do this.